Hey guys, Attorney Walter Hnot. I'm so glad that you're here to join me today. Now, I want to go through something real quick. I was super tired. That's why I'm starting a little bit late today. I'm going to be doing something about the SSI program. Specifically, what's happening is that there's this SSI Savings Penalty Elimination Act that's being brought forward. It's being brought forward by Sherrod Brown, Ohio Senator, and also a Republican Ohio Senator. So this is a bipartisan-based bill. And the whole idea of this is that they're going to be boosting essentially the resource limits from that little $2,000, $3,000 if you're a couple, up to the much larger $10,000 and then the larger amount. And what that's going to do is it's going to get a lot of SSI people farther away from poverty. And it literally costs the government either nothing or very, very little to do this. So what's happening is the Democrats are realizing that their time is getting crunched and scrunched into this little itty bitty area as to when they can actually pass things that are good changes within the kind of liberal identity. And so what Sherrod Brown is doing, he's saying, look, I realize that, this bigger SSI Restoration Act is not going to pass in between now and the midterms. So what he's kind of done is he's pulled out the one big thing that he knows is an easy thing to pass, that everybody can pass, just get it through. And that's the resource limit, and including and increasing that to a much more beneficial amount. So I want to take a moment here to kind of go through specifically what's going on with it. Here's CNBC. Bipartisan bill aims to update rules for federal benefits for elderly and disabled. Now, just a heads up, I was sick not too long ago. I took a nap for like an hour and a half. I was intending to go ahead and go into my attic to go ahead and work in there to clean it up, to do things in there. But then when I woke up, it was dark, and there's no way in the hell I'm going up in that attic when it's dark, even though it's dark during the day. Last time I went up there, there was a Barbie that had died in the left corner of an A-frame. The body was still fresh. So I'm not when it's light out and I have like 5 support humans to just like feed me good comments to like keep me in the positive as I climb those steps and giant spiders like scurry away. Anyways, yeah, up there, there's spiders with like tattoos and like, mohawks. It's a totally different place up there. Anyways, guys, so here's what you need to know about this. Oh, final thing, please like, subscribe. And the big thing that helps me, please leave 5-star reviews. These 5-star reviews are super easy. You just go ahead, you go to Google, you type in disability resolution, and basically you just leave a 5-star review. Those help me so much. And each one that I get, it's a huge, big uplifting thing. Let's go right into the article. Here we go. A federal benefits program for blind, disabled, and elderly individuals. And I know I made the video about basically immigrants, those coming from Ukraine or those coming from South America, and people. And I got a couple phone calls where people were screaming into the phone about, how could this be? And I was like, well, I cited the rule. It's coming. You just look up the rule. But anyways, I'm going to be doing more on that just to kind of educate people on what actually, what SSI is. It's a massive program. So, all right. So disabled and elderly individuals could get a long overdue update if a proposed in Washington bill is approved. 2 Ohio senators, Democrat Senator Sherrod Brown and Republican Senator Rob Portman, have teamed up to introduce a bill to update the Supplemental Security Incomes Program's rules for how much money beneficiaries can have set aside. Now, that's the best way of defining what a resource is. It is the money that you set aside. Could be other stuff too. That's considered resource with resale value. But the bottom line is, in this instance, it's the things that are set aside in a bank account. Essentially, the rules are $2,000 limit, $3,000 if you're a couple. Now, I know a lot of you guys hear that and you're like, well, how can I should obviously have more than $2,000, right? As an impoverished person, I'm always going to be living in this slave bubble of not being able to rent a place, not being able to do this or that as a result of that. And everybody agrees. There's not maybe there are Republicans, but there's not a lot of Republicans who would probably but would disagree that the resource limit costs the government hardly anything to change and allows people to live a significantly better life. So what does that mean? It means that we've got bipartisan support. That means we've got the 2 senators, both from Ohio, that are supporting it. All right, here we go. The Senator's bill, called the SSI Savings Penalty Elimination Act, was introduced on Thursday. And remember, this was on May 2nd, 2022. So this is basically still very fresh, almost as fresh as the dead Barbie body that's in my attic. Now, SSI provides a maximum monthly benefit of $841 per individual or $1,261 for couples where both individuals are eligible for the program. Now, I know some of you will be upset if I don't say this. Obviously, I don't support the marriage penalty rule, which is where you get two SSI people, and when you combine them, they shrink the benefits down to $1,261. It shouldn't be that way. Person one, person two, they should both get their own SSI benefits. All we have is basically a society of SSI people that find love, which for two disabled people on SSI is like a miracle in itself. And then they can't get married as a result of this really just moronic rule. It saves the government a little bit of money, but it's not, as a societal public policy, it is a bad rule. All right. However, some beneficiaries receive far less. The average monthly benefit for all recipients is currently $625.50, and that's way up from the $500. But that's also way up from the $500 because we have rampant inflation. Awesome, yay America! Many people receiving these benefits are living under or close to federal poverty level, which is it's mostly living under, which in 2022 is $13,590 in annual income for individuals. Now, SSI also comes with strict rules regarding income and assets for beneficiaries. This is the rule they're trying to change with this. Brown and Portman's bill seeks to update the asset limits, which would enable beneficiaries to have more savings in case of an emergency without affecting their benefits. There's another thing here too, guys. Like when you restrict somebody to continuous for decades, $2,000 limit in their bank, that forces them, if they get any additional money, to hide it in the mattress or hide it somewhere where somebody could potentially not try to steal it, which is insane. We're saying to SSI people, you know what? We don't want you to have the safety and security of essentially being able to save any additional little bits of money you get. We don't want you to have that. And that's insane because then they have to buy some sort of like safe that they can put in their room, you know, like one of those big crank whatevers. They can't afford those half the time. So they end up putting it under their mattress or whatever. And then some person that they're living with steals it. And then their life goes back to where it was, which is not a good place. So, all right. Currently, individuals getting SSI are limited to $2,000 in assets. For married couples, it's $3,000. The bill seeks to amend those caps, which have not been changed since 1989, to $10,000 and $20,000 respectively. Okay, so basically, instead of just being allowed to have $2,000 in the bank, you could now have $10,000. If you're a couple who had $3,000 as a limit, you can now have $20,000. And to be honest with you guys, it still should be higher than that. It should be, when we look at these numbers, and these are just kind of made up whatever numbers, like they just made up 10,000. They just made up 20,000. They're kind of made up numbers. But you notice how the 20,000 is double the 10,000. It's not like where it was the 2,000 and they're like, well, we'll give you 1.5, kind of like the marriage penalty rule. No, they're doubling it, right? Here's this together, they equal two of them. So the point here is this: when you look at this, these $10,000 and $20,000, they're just made up numbers. They came up with it. It sounds good. Here we go. But we should have metrics that define if somebody needed to buy an RV, if somebody needed to buy a little house, if somebody needed to buy a car, whatever. We should have a way of figuring out the metrics, and then every year bump it up, COLA increase. But we should have a way of understanding and creating the metrics that define what the resource limit should be. Right now, it's $2,000 and $3,000, and it's been that way for decades. Why has it been that way for decades? Because obviously SSI people are just not a priority to the legislator. That's it. You want a better look. When you sit back, can any of you guys tell me that are on SSI that you feel that the system is catering to you especially? Obviously, it's not. All right, let's keep reading through. The change would also help eliminate the marriage penalty for today's beneficiaries, since the current asset limit for couples is not twice that for a single person. Cool, awesome, very good thing. Marriage penalty gone. That means both people. You take the 841, you take the 841, you put them together, and you get the full number. So the 1,600. So it'd be $82. All right. The program's limits on assets such as savings make it difficult for SSI beneficiaries and their families to achieve any measure of economic security, a report from JP Morgan Chase and Co. Policy Center states. It doesn't make sense for SSI's rules to punish Americans for saving for emergencies. And remember, I don't think emergencies are really just like the answer here as to the argument why we should increase the resource limit. We should have accountable, realistic metrics for defining how much money an SSI person needs to have in the bank. Doesn't that make sense? Like, wouldn't it make sense to be like, okay, well, they're going to need going forward in life, not like the emergency happens, like there's a Russia problem and now they must use what they have in the bank. I'm talking about like just daily what they need to be able to survive. We should have these metrics. All right, next thing. The bill would also adjust thresholds annually for inflation based on consumer price index data, much like Social Security benefits. Cool. Now, notice how they put CPI there, not COLA. Hey, the proposal follows a more expensive proposal put forth. The proposal follows a more expensive proposal. Nice word to use. Put forth by Brown last year, titled the SSI Restoration Act. That bill includes changes that would have lifted the program's income restrictions and brought monthly benefits to 100% of the federal poverty level and indexed them to inflation. Let me read that again. The proposal follows a more expensive proposal put forth by Brown last year. So what they're saying is that this little act follows a more expansive proposal that was originally suggested back in the day. Now, remember, President Biden, before he was president, was pushing the idea to go ahead and do all these amazing things for SSI people. This bill, if he can get it to pass, would at least do some, not all, but some, a good little chunk of promises that he made to those who are receiving SSI benefits. It would be a good thrust into actually being able to achieve, oh, that's Sweetie in the background, being able to achieve those things that he promised. It wouldn't be all the big things. It wouldn't be the biggest things, but it would be a really good start. All right, here we go. Updating the program's rules around income from work could help improve beneficiaries' standard of living. A report from the Urban Institute found, yeah, of course. Currently, beneficiaries can have up to $20 in unearned income per month, while their first $65 in earnings is exempt from the program's rules. That's why you always hear me saying, when you look at SSI, when you're looking at how much you can earn versus how much is taken away from your benefits, the first 85 doesn't count. Okay, beyond that threshold, SSI benefits are reduced by 50 cents for every dollar of income. I don't tell people it that way because people don't think of it this way. For every $2 you earn, they take away $1. All right. Beyond that threshold, SSI benefits are reduced by 50 cents, blah, blah, blah. Those thresholds have not been changed since 1972. Brown and Portman's proposal comes as Congress is poised to consider retirement legislation known as Secure 2.0, which also includes other emergency savings measures, which we're doing a video on probably tomorrow. All right, so the bottom line is this. That's what they're looking at. They couldn't get the SSI Restoration Act through. So what they did was they said, all right, what can we do to kind of bring this puppy together to make it so that we can give some of President Biden's promises to those people who voted for him, while not making it such a bill that other people would not vote for it. And the ironic and the reality here, and I want to make this very clear, is that at the end of the day, it is important to realize that we as America are moving closer and closer to the idea of America taking care of its Americans. For the first time, I saw a Fox News article that was all for getting Medicare for everybody. Remember, the Republican Party was like, rah, 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 it can never be afforded. It will never happen. Rah, 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 Medicare for all. It's just never going to happen. And then a Fox News article just came out saying, well, people really want it. They want it. The Republicans want it. The Democrats want it. They all want it. So it's one of these things where I think what's happening is, even though the Democrats went super way, way left, like, throw a ball and then have a tank, catch the ball and shoot it out of its turret, and then have a rocket grab the ball and then launch it into space, and then have an alien spacecraft grab the ball and take it to the end of our solar system. They went super far to the left. But what happened was, I think a lot of people started to sit back and go, we're paying in all this money. Why aren't we getting more out of it from the government? And the Republicans, they a little bit more up on the math of working and things like that. They were looking at how much they were paying into the system and then how much they're going to get out of the system. And they were not happy. They were very unhappy Republicans. And as a result of that, they were going, well, what the heck? We pay in all this money. We don't get much out. What the heck? And they're right. With what we pay in, we should have health insurance covered for us. We got a payroll tax, then we have a general, tax to do the SSI thing. We got a retirement tax, right, which is all part of that same payroll Social Security tax. And remember, it's not just, what the company pays you. The company matches that, right? That half the percentages comes from you, and then the other half comes from the company. So when the company pays you, it's not just like you're getting the gross. The company's paying out significantly more on top of that to match what the government requires for the Social Security tax. So howdy, Leanne. Howdy, Deb Carter. Howdy, Linda Soda. Howdy, Amy. Amy Joe. Glenn, Simulation 7, Constitutional Immunity 2.0. Howdy. So, hey, Walter, you getting great there, brother? Yeah, I know. I'm getting old. I'm aging fast because I'm not getting enough sleep. I went to bed at 3. Well, no, I finished the YouTube video last night around 3. And then I went to bed at 4 because I'm one of those people that like goes on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm like, oh, look at that Tyrannosaurus Rex, model, metal sculpture. Wouldn't that look amazing? And then I have to like simmer myself down and be like, no, it's not okay to have a T-Rex sculpture in your front yard. It's on the way. Anyways, the point is, guys, the thing is, aside from all the jokes that I've said today about going into my attic, which are all completely true, there was a dead Barbie up there. Body was still fresh. Aside from all of those, and there being giant mutated spiders that have tattoos on their many, many arms. The point is, people, I think Americans, so there's this thing going on. Republicans are, make America great again for Americans. Democrats they're pushing the envelope. They're pulling in a lot of immigrants, but they're trying to say we want to give more benefits. So if we just simplify it, Republicans, rah, rah, rah for Americans, Democrats, rah, rah, rah for right now, mostly immigrants, and then trying to get some little benefits that they can in before the midterms, right? So the bottom line is this. Deb Carter, you're aging in dog years. That was the nicest insult I've heard all week. I appreciate it. That's so good. Okay. So anyways, the point is this, just to give you a heads up, what's happening is the Republicans are going, well, why aren't we, if we're going to give Americans better benefits, why don't we just give the American better benefits? And, the Democrats are going, well, let's just enhance the programs to, yada, yada. Now, SSI, as you know, is paid out to, there's 7-year rules for people to receive the SSI benefits, who are not, who are just made from immigrants to, green card carrying, or they're refugees or things like that. I'm not going to do the video on that because people get too excited and I get angry phone calls. But the point is this, SSI is a massive program that pays out to a lot of people. What's interesting, though, is that the SSDI people are sitting back going, we think we deserve essentially more benefits. Thank you for the $5 donation. I love the Kermit the Frog there. A key to say. I love it. Very good. Very good. So, here's the thing, guys. The Republicans are looking at this going, well, we want to give better benefits to our Americans, which was not the party line back in the day. They were like, we can't afford it. We're paying for too many illegal immigrants. We're paying for too many poor people who have never worked. Rah. That was their old stance. Now they're like, all right, well, we want to give better benefits to the Americans because we're paying so much into the government. We don't understand why the Americans aren't getting more benefits out of what they're paying into the government. And so it's ironic that there's this rare, normally grinding metal on metal cog that just came together in this weird, unique moment. And I'm hoping it passes. It is not as aggressive as the SSI Restoration Act by far. It ain't even close. But still, it's the meat and potatoes beginning that gets us to creep up the stairs to go see what's in Santa's shed. I don't know why I said that, but that's the way my brain sees it. All right. Now, with that said, we're going to take a couple phone calls. We're going to take one phone call, and then we're going to go to the security expert specifically on what's going on with Ukraine, because there's some big stuff going on with Ukraine. Ukraine actually, it appears, went on the offensive. So I'm going to pop over to the phone real quick, see if I can call somebody to begin the process. Hold on real quick. Let me see real quick. Okay, good. All right, guys, here we go. I'm going to call this person. They're actually calling me. Hold on. Okay, hold on one sec. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We're live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name. Now, would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and basically run hearing questions with you? Go ahead.
Hi, Walter. This is Pam, and I would like to answer a specific question I have.
Excellent. How can I help you?
Okay. I am on SSDI, and I had cancer and had transplant, couldn't work. And I tried to go back to work at the end of 2013, and my cancer came back. And so I reduced my hours, and I worked until September 2015.
Okay.
And then I get this letter in September 2015 saying I was overpaid, and I had to pay this back. So I made a payment agreement with them.
Okay.
And paid it all back. They took it out of my direct deposit of my check.
Okay.
Before it hit the bank. Well, I get a letter in November 2017 saying you're paid off, it's finished. Well, I'm on hospice now. I've moved around a lot. And in March, I haven't worked since September 2015.
Okay.
In March 2018, I get another letter from Social Security saying I owe that exact same overpayment again.
What was the reasoning behind
And
the overpayment?
They said I made too much money. And I said, okay, I can see it maybe 1 or 2 months, but I thought I had 3 years to try to come back to work. And they said, no, it's not true, and all this stuff. And I just finally gave up to fine, we'll do $67 a month. And they said, okay, you'll pay off November 2017. And then I get the thing, and I call and tell them, hey, I haven't worked since September 2015. I've already paid this off. And so now I'm paying $80 a month. And I called up there and told them all of this. And they said, we'll send you a waiver form and another form, a bill form. But then they closed for 2 years.
Oh, that's ironic. So, right. So you got stuck and they constantly did the withdrawal. All right. So do you have an accounting letter as to what they're saying you earned? Like when you earn too much per each month that you earn too much for them to do that for the SSDI benefits? Like, do you have an accounting letter from their local field office?
No, because they closed like the next day.
Okay.
So I don't have anything. And when the guy I talked to that day that was going to send me the form, he couldn't even find where they had sent me the overpayment back in 2015 where I had paid all those months. He said, you've got to give me some proof. I said, y'all took it out of my check, directly from my direct deposit check, so I don't have any proof.
Okay. So what I would do if I were you is I would reach out. Oh, the doggy's got a. Oh, I guess he drank too much water. What I would do is I would reach out to the local field office and ask for an accounting letter. And if they're unable to provide one, you can reach out to the regional field office. Where are you located, like by state?
In Missouri.
Missouri. Okay, cool. Give me one moment. Hold on. SSA regional field offices.
There's office in the town I live in. It's just I'm on hospice and bedbound now.
Gotcha.
But I've been paying them $80 a month since 2018.
Gotcha. So, and here's kind of the thing. I would need to see the accounting letter to see why they're saying those things. And it looks like Kansas City is where your regional office is.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to give you an email for you to email the person to get the accounting letter. Let me know when you're ready to go ahead and receive the email. I'm going to spell it out to you over the phone. So do you have a pen and a piece of paper?
Let me see. Grab one real quick.
Perfect. Excellent. Once you're ready, I'll give you that, and then I'll give you a little summary as to what to do to go ahead and request from them. Basically, that accounting form, because I'd have to see something like that to know exactly what they were feeling. Your overpayment was from, like how your earnings reacted with your Social Security disability insurance benefits. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, it was so stupid because I only worked from October 2013 to September 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And I even had to go down to 20 hours a week in 2016 because of the cancer.
Gotcha. No worries. I'll take a look at the incomes earning and the earnings income and kind of figure out where you went over and what you really realistically owe them. And then you can go through the 632 process of payment waiver reduction and do an appeal, all that kind of stuff. So, okay, so let's see. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay.
So the yeah, are you ready to write it down?
I'm ready.
Perfect. It is Shawn. That's SHAWN. Again, SHAWN dot.
S-H-A-W-N
Yep.
dot.
Cole, COLE. Again, COLE.
Okay.
And that's at SSA.gov. Again, at SSA.gov.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to get you the first phone number you're going to call before you reach out by email. It's the local field office in Missouri. So, what is your zip code?
63601.
Okay, give me 1 second. 63601. Okie doke. Okay, the phone number you're going to call to go ahead and reach out to check in to get them to send you an accounting letter for your overpayment. Again, your accounting letter for your overpayment is 877 622 9009. Again, 9009.
Okay, and that's accounting letter of overpayment.
Yes, accounting letter for overpayment. And then also, do me a favor, go look up the form on Google, print it out, start filling it out. SSA 632. Again, SSA 632.
I actually have that one.
Good, very good. So that's basically going to be your begin working on the 632. Call the local field office if you can't get a good answer from them to get an accounting sheet. Email the regional office. Once you have that, you can always send that stuff to me, and I'll check it out and kind of give you an update from there what to do next. Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate it so much, Walter.
Thank you. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty, guys. So, real quick update. Let me see what some of the comments are. Let's see. Love from Mississippi. Excellent, excellent. Let's see. What if you took SS early? Do we get any extra? I had to take early, which is nothing. $327 a month. Is there any help for us? I'm 69 years old. Well, if you're only getting $327 a month, you would want to go ahead and get a combination of retirement and SSI. That way, you can get at least $800 to $900 per month, and they'll do a hybrid allowance of the combination of the two. Next one. I'm in Kansas City. Awesome. Hello in Kansas City. Oh, a lot of Kansas City. Next one. Constitutional immunity 2.0. Are you married, Walter, or your sister works for you? Don't need to answer this. No, my sister does not work for me. I'm not married, and I'm not dating anyone at the moment either. Because I'm just constantly working. Literally, I work until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. at night. Next one, Kenneth Bishop. I'm sorry, how much is SSI is getting a raise? How much? So SSI at the moment is not getting a raise. It's getting a resource limit bump, increase potentially. Sherrod Brown and also another Republican Ohio based individual are looking to bump the $2,000 to $3,000 limitation, $2,000 for a single person, $3,000 for a couple, up to $10,000 for a single person of resources that you can have in the bank without it counting against you. My dog's throwing up. Awesome. And basically $20,000 for a couple. So she ate what I ate for dinner that I got sick on, because when I left, she got on the counter, pulled it down, and made a mess. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. She chose to go onto the counter and eat the food. All right, let's go. Let's see. And it was fine. It wasn't like garlicky stuff or anything. So I'm sorry, how much? Okay, so let's see. I'm celebrating with KC Dog. It is his 13th birthday. I love this guy. Awesome. That's very good. Very cool. Very good. Howdy, Kathy Fenton. Howdy, howdy. Okay, so let's see. I'm not going to get my disability review report back in time. Should I send a note with it or just send it? Disability report back in time. What is the disability report for? Give me a little background story, Madame Valerie Land, and we'll catch up from there. I'm going to call the security expert real quick, see if I can get him on the phone, because every week it's like something new with the whole Ukraine thing. And it's, we're getting another call. All right, let me do this real quick call, and then we'll call the security expert. Okay, let's see real quick. Hey, this is Attorney Walter Hnot with Disability Resolution PA. We are live. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Can I answer a specific question for you, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you? Oh, hello. Maybe they're. I don't know. Let's see. It's not working. I'll try calling them back real quick. Hold on, guys. We'll do one more phone call. because people were complaining that I wasn't doing enough phone calls, which I wasn't doing that many. It's true. I just, I'm a horrible person for not doing phone calls. Here we go. They're calling again. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name. Would you like me to answer a specific question or run hearing questions?
Specific question.
Perfect, ma'am. How can I help you?
Hey, I called you, I think it was a couple weeks ago about disabled adult child benefits.
Yeah.
I took your advice and I got all my files and paperwork. I went to the actual places and tried to get as much as I could. And they got it relatively quickly and I got approved. So I just want to say thank you for that, for your advice. And also I had a couple questions now about those benefits.
Yeah.
Do you know much about that or? Okay. Well, my father's pissed that I'm going off his record because I guess he's getting his daughter that he has with his new wife. Her payment's going to get cut in half.
Okay.
For him being disabled.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he goes off disability just out of spite, does that mean that I'm off it as well?
Well, keep in mind, usually with DACs, the whole thing is that you take as a result of something like his benefits vesting or potentially death. So how old is he?
He's born in 60, so what is that, 60 something? I'm not good with math.
So that would be 40, it would be 40 years plus 22 years. So we're looking at basically 62. So at that point, potential vest option. So yeah, you're at the safe point of potential vesting. Now, the question now, is he on SSDI? Is he on retirement?
SSDI.
Okay, so normally,
SSDI.
So he would be really nuts to at first get off of the SSDI benefits because he can ride that to full retirement and then just take full retirement. So to get off of the benefits would be a really, really terrible choice because at the end of the day, he's basically giving away just a really great program that allows him to set up for, essentially getting his full retirement without much fuss. And if he gets off from getting back onto them, it's just really, really difficult. It's a really, really tough thing. So that's kind of the bottom line. So I'm guessing what you're really asking though is if somebody is reliant.
If I'm on it now,
right?
Under his,
so
and he goes off.
I'm pretty sure that the person can go ahead and stay on once they've vested those benefits through disabled adult child benefits. Let me see if I can check real quick and see what some of the speed bumps are, because not that many people, I don't interact with DAC claims that often, but I had another one yesterday, so it was one of those kind of deals.
It's not even, I'm not even getting more. I'm getting because it's like I'm getting 300 and something from him, 300 and something for my own SSDI, and then it still says on my thing like I'm getting the same amount for SSI, but that's going to be adjusted, I would imagine, because unless I'm getting like the 841 in those two,
right?
Then my SSI will be deducted because I'm not getting over that. Correct?
So I'm just reading. I'm reading about the. Ask me that question again. Sorry. What was the question again? One more time. Yeah.
I'm getting. I just didn't realize how it worked out, but when I got the letter from them, it said I'm getting 300 and something off of his SS for the adult disabled child benefit. And then I'm getting what I was originally getting for my SSDI benefit. So that's 600 and something. So it's still not the 841, so but my SSI payment hasn't changed in their little online thing. It still says 500 and something. So I'm assuming that that's not a magic thing that I am allowed to keep the full SSI.
So the way it works is, think of it as like a pen and a pen cap. You're quasi stacking it, but you're not putting two pens on top of each other. So you get to basically get a boost up to a certain amount, but it's not like a massive increase. So because your parents, the website probably hasn't been updated, but you should be able to share from both programs and be okay. Now, the other question I have is, why are you only getting $500 something of SSI?
Because I was getting 532 or something for SSI, and then the rest was SSDI up to the maximum, like the 841 or whatever.
Right. Okay, but
that's why I was getting both, because I didn't work long. I was disabled so young, I didn't work long enough to put in enough.
Okay, so you're getting Title II SSDI benefits that are low because you haven't worked much, and then they're supplementing it with SSI to get it to be the maximum that those two can be combined.
Yeah, perfect. And now I have the adult disabled child benefits as well, so that's 3 benefits I'm going to be getting because I don't even.
Yeah, but that's good though. That's the Trinity right there. The
only reason I wanted it was because I'm able to work a little bit and not get penalized. That's the only reason,
Yeah, no, sure, absolutely. So basically, when it comes to the DACs, whether or not you get to keep it if he comes off of it, right? Because SSI doesn't matter on the dad. SSDI benefits don't really matter on the father, but DAC benefits do matter on the parents, father or mother, as to what they've earned. But the parent is, so long as that parent is entitled to SSDI benefits, retirement benefits, or is deceased, then you can continue to take. And technically, at 62, he's entitled to your retirement-based benefit program. So I think you're safe at this point. If he passes away, you're safe. If he remains on SSDI benefits, you're safe. And since he's already reached 62, you're safe. But the bottom line is, with that said, with DAC benefits, they can sometimes be reduced if there are, if there's, I think there was a rule, something about additional children for something that also applies to auxiliary benefits. So are you like the only child, or are there multiple children?
I'm the only disabled child that's living, but he has a child with with the woman he's living with now. They were married, but they got divorced. Now, was she getting a payment too, if she was taking care of his minor child?
So yeah, basically there's potentially auxiliary benefits that she can tap into, that child, if under 16, can get into. So
yeah, she's 14. So
yeah. So
but was the wife getting a check as well?
It depends.
If he's disabled, can that happen?
It depends on a lot, but yeah, she could potentially get. Well, it depends. There's a lot of things there. I'd have to know a lot more about that one. But the child one's easier. That's auxiliary. Now, with that said, you're the only child that he ever had with your mom, which is not the woman that he's married to currently, correct?
No, I'm not the only child.
How many other children are there?
I'm one of 5 that he had with my mother, but 2 of them passed away. But they had benefits because they were disabled.
Okay, so there might be more benefit sharing stuff going on there. Where if you look up auxiliary benefits, you'll see how they do like this whole analysis on how many 2 children.
Yeah, I know 3. We have to split it 50% because the letter that they sent me, it broke down like back benefits, and it said because they're only allowed to pay so much off one person's record or whatever.
Right.
That I've been paid the total amount for the back benefits for the past 2 years, except for $1. So I don't know how that was thought. And then from last year when I applied in February to now, I'm only owed $11. I kind of thought that was weird.
Yeah.
Because they can't go back and take the money from them, right? Because they,
I mean, they're not going to give them an overpay. I mean, over $1, it's just, And then usually when it's under $1,000, they're just not particularly interested in essentially, going and getting to the bottom of it, if you know what I mean. So But all right, well, good.
They knew And then just the other thing was, as far as I get 50% while he's alive. Do you get, and then if he passes away, what are my benefits?
Oh, it shouldn't change.
The same?
Yeah, it should be the same. Yeah, it's still, because remember,
it doesn't go up to 75. I thought, or 100.
If he passes away, does it increase? I don't think it does, but I would have to look that up.
Oh, I thought. Okay.
It might.
Thought it went up to.
I barely do DAC benefit-based claims.
Oh, okay. No, I know you're the end-all, say-all, be-all, though.
I know. But I tell you what, send me an email, because I'm personally curious, because I do run across these claims, not in the sense of, figuring out, because the way disability attorneys are supposed to work with this stuff is that when we apply people for SSI and SSDI, the local FO is supposed to recognize if there's potential for DAC claims, disabled adult child claims, and then file that child or that older person for those benefits. They usually don't, which is why I'm always like, hey, go file for this. It sounds like your parent is in the green zone for this. You were disabled during that time. Go file for it. Go grab the SSA-4 form.
Yeah, I had to go get it. Like it didn't pop up in the system. You think it'd pop up that he was, but no, that'd be too easy. He though is going like bad mouthing me to the family, saying I'm taking money away from his kid, and it's not it's money that I'm due as well. So I just could they, and he's telling everyone that his benefits are being stopped completely. Could they do that to him because he didn't report me?
Are you serious?
He didn't report me when he applied for disability. He said he had no disabled children, and he did.
What the F?
I know.
That's such a low move. This is your dad?
Yeah, well, he's half the reason that I'm on disability, so you can see why.
Holy cow, he gets an F for parenting. Wow, that is super terrible. It's not going to, it takes from the general pot, but the pot is like everybody.
It doesn't take anything from his.
Right, so
it's the normal amount. I just have to share with his daughter.
Wow, that's crazy that a father would do that. This guy must be something special. Jeez Louise. Wow.
He is. He's very special, and he lives in Florida, too.
Well, I live in Florida, and we do have all special people down here, let me tell you. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We have all the interesting, cool, fun, exciting, but you have to understand, it's just down here in Florida, there's palm trees, there's islands, there's boats everywhere, there's really cool vintage cars. There's just, it's just like,
oh yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, when you look at these videos of these superstar singers and they're doing this trailer of the amazing places they are, it's like they're literally,
backyard.
Yeah, it's my backyard. I'm like, if you drive that way, that's where it is. I'm just like, go past 10 palm trees, past the Tesla dealership, they're on that beach. So,
you have to be in the cool kid club,
though. And that's the thing. When I bought my house, I bought it in 2019. I lucked out so big time. I bought it for $475, and it just on Zillow got appraised for $1,014,000, whatever. And that's just 2-year period. It went up. It doubled in price, and that's because
sell it and keep the profit before everything drops.
I could never sell it. I live on an island. It's just it's the best
really?
thing. Oh yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Literally, when people when people do music videos, I'm like, literally, they're down the road over there. It's crazy. So. Actually, they did do a country song. Ironically, I'm not going to do the thing on the channel, but they did do a country song on an island that I used to boat to before I just got so slammed with work. But totally. It's
so you get to look at your boat.
Yeah. My boat literally sits there and it just stares at me, and it's just sad.
So I moved down to help him open his business in the Panhandle for a little bit. It's gorgeous down there.
Yeah. Wow.
But then you come up here and you see the ocean up here, and it's like, it's dirty. Up in New England, it's dirty.
But I love it. Wait, what part of New England are you in? Because I love New England. If you
New Hampshire.
Okay, yeah. I mean, look, that's all insurance companies and giant buildings and rich, spoiled, northeasterny people. I mean, that's New Hampshire's. New Hampshire's got some mean, egotistical, snobby people, but. If you ever get a chance to go, oh yeah, no, yeah, I've seen. If you ever get a chance to go to the Mount Desert Island of basically Acadia in that area, that is just absolutely gorgeous. There's some videos of me on YouTube where I went there, and it was my only vacation for the entire year for 2 days, and it's it's when the hurricane that was in Florida came all the way up to Maine. And I took some amazing videos of waves splashing me and me having a good time. Yeah. It was.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there was actually. Yeah, there was a cop that wanted to interview me after it. That was parked in his car. He's like, "So I see you're shooting a video. What are you doing?" Yeah. I like to call it interview, but it was probably interrogate. There's actually a photo on my phone of me talking to the cops. It is what it is. But Yeah. Anyway, send me an
we
email.
always used to vacation at York, so I know.
Oh yeah, York's
a
amazing.
little bit.
Yeah. No, my dog is really going. Sweetie, come here. She is upset. Oh, she's
Give her some peppermint.
She's bitching Shadow out. Are you okay, sweetie? Oh my goodness. Well, anyways, I tell you what.
All right.
Send me an email.
If I send you an email?
Yeah.
Okay.
Send me an email. I'll get it. When I get a chance, I'll kind of answer them. I'll probably do a video on it, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, you have a wonderful,
and what is your email? Do you have it on the web?
It's WRH again. WRH. At disabilityresolution.com. Again, WRH at disabilityresolution.com. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You got it. I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You as well. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So Sweetie is upset because Sweetie ate the food that I also got sick from, and I ended up having to take a nap instead of going into the attic to go ahead and work up there. And now Sweetie is basically, and now there's a million phone calls. All right, we're going to do one more phone call, then we're going to call the security expert. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use fake names throughout this process. Can I answer a question for you, or would you like me to go ahead and basically run hearing questions with you?
I have a question.
Perfect. Go for it.
I'm in the process of refinancing my house.
Okay.
And I'm disabled.
Okay.
I'm disabled, and I want to know if I refinance it and I invest the money I take out of the house in other properties, will that affect my disability?
Are you SSI or SSDI?
DI.
Yeah, so you're DI, so you can have multiple properties. Remember, you have an income restriction of $1,350, which is your SGA limitation. So if you pull the funds out, you basically, any income that you made on top of what you originally purchased it from is going to be, basically a month that you're going to get hit on. But then once you have those funds for over a month and they turn into a resource, they're no longer income, then they're a resource the next month, then it's not really going to affect you to put into these other properties. But remember, every time you're pulling in income, you have to look at whether or not it's a countable income or non-countable income for the SSDI benefits program.
Okay,
so you're going to get hit for 1 month because I'm sure you're making a profit somewhere in there. And when I say, when I say hit,
get the hit from the refinance amount.
So you're refinancing it. You're not just full on selling it, correct?
No, I'm not selling it because I settled my case and I bought the house and I want to take out money off of it to invest in other properties.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, I see what you're saying. You want to pull out a loan against a property you have because it's up right now to basically go ahead and invest into other properties.
Correct.
Okay. So usually with these types of things, that is considered accountable income. So in that case, usually, and remember, I'm not there. With you guys, you always ask me generalized questions. I'm not there seeing exactly everything, but the bottom line is, in that instance, that's usually considered some form of countable income that goes against you. And I'm assuming you're pulling out more than $1,350 per month, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then in that case, bottom line, it's probably going to count against you. Yeah, which means that you won't receive benefits for that month in which you pull it out.
Okay, so I would probably have to reinvest the money that I put in an LLC.
I mean, you could. It would be smart. I mean, you want to create a veil that's protected by a limited liability corporation. But remember, still, they're going to be able to see that documentation when you pull it out against your home.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I gotta see what I want to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, keep in mind, like, it's one of those things where when you do that stuff, you are creating an opportunity of funds that you have to always look at whether or not it's countable or not countable. And kind of the bottom line here is, you know, the problem is what a lot of people don't realize is that for SSDI, unlike SSI, they only care what kind of income you're bringing in basically the first month. But after that, they don't care. They don't. Whatever. Once you have it for a month, they don't care. But SSI, they have, you know, they care what you make that first month, and then they care if you have too much of a resource, the $2,000, $3,000. So the bottom line, I'm sorry, my dog's in the background bitching at Shadow right now. So it's literally like the Lucille show, I Love Lucy, where, and you can hear it, she's just giving him hell.
Yeah.
Let me see real quick what's going on. Shadow, let her have a cookie. You know she's a big piggy dog and she needs kisses. All right. So bottom line is, and Ken Act of Kindness, thank you for the $5 donation. Basically, bottom line, at the end of the day, you always want to look up, is this countable? Is this non-countable income for SSDI benefits? And, you know, and this is a formal loan too. This isn't like a cash forward loan from like one of those like side places. Like this is a thing where there's going to be paperwork submitted to the government. So just like, you know, remember, they're going to see what happens even if you own a corporation that presents a veil. That's what we call it in law, the piercing the veil. That's when the court looks beyond the veil of the corporation to see who's really doing what behind that veil. The SSA is still going to have access to be able to see what's going on with that LLC when you create it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, just keep that in mind, because some people, what they do is they'll go get one of those, like, you know, cash boost whatever loans, you know, for $1,000 or $500 or whatever, and it puts them over the monthly amount. And they're like, hey, does anybody really need to know about this? If they report it as a loan to the government, which they do with these all the time, they're going to know about it. I mean, it's a direct line to them knowing about it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right.
So I'll see what I'll do.
Perfect. Sounds good. Good, sir.
If it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because I have to weigh it if it's worth it or if it's
Well, I mean, look, how much are you taking out, if you don't mind me asking?
I want to take out from the house at least 150 or 200,000.
Okay. I mean, if you're making a big move like that, then you're going to get hit for that month. But if you're making a move to get a rental property that's going to bring in income, then, you know, you got to realize too, all of a sudden you're getting a rental property with the intent of getting income. That income is going to be something that hurts your SSDI benefits if you're earning over the SGA. And I think it's like every $793, it automatically triggers the whole trial work month period. So let's say that you have a rental property now. You just got it because you took the loan out against the house that you have, and boom, now you've got a rental property. Now all of a sudden, this rental property, you're going to put people in there. They're going to be paying you money. That's income, right? So now all of a sudden, you've got income coming in that's going to be adding up against that $1,350 per month.
Okay.
So there's a flaw in the plan, is what I'm trying to say to you. Yeah.
Yeah. They want to keep you. They want to keep you just
poor. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You can say the word poor. They want to keep disabled people poor.
Poor, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I tell them when they call me and ask for money. I'm poor.
Yeah, I agree. Right, hey, you know.
Poverty.
No, I hear you.
Right.
So
thanks a lot, Walter. Really like your help.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you. Excellent. Well, you have a wonderful day, okay?
Same to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, now are we sure? Because remember, one of the things I wanted to do is that I wanted to run hearing questions at fast pace, like boom, 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 boom. Are we sure nobody wants to call in to run hearing questions super fast paced? I'm going to go let Sweetie out because otherwise she's going to eat Shadow. Give me 1 second, guys. I just need 1 second. I'm going to let Sweetie out because otherwise she will literally... Sweetie is now 85 going on 90 pounds. She's a little chubby pancake. And Shadow is a like 28 pound to 30 pound dog. So Yeah, I don't want her to eat him. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm going to put her outside real quick. I'll be right back. 2 seconds. How much, Lee? What happened? Shut up. Come here. Come here. Sweetie, come here. Come here. I put out 4 treats for you. Here's the box. Okay, you happy now? Just eat. You want to go outside? Come on. Outside. Come on. Sweetie. You don't want to go outside, or you do? You don't want to go outside. You can't just bitch at Shadow. Remember, he's going to bite you. Don't make Bill burn, right? Don't do it. All right, take this treat. There you go. Okay. All right, there you go. All right, guys, now's the important part where I rip the thing off of it and make it a showstopper. I dropped it. I dropped it. I failed at my one job today, which was ripping it off like a Band-Aid. All right, guys. So, yeah, no, I have every color I'm a diverse sticky note person, although, ironically, all my sticky notes have sticky notes that I wrote stuff on, so I can't. Actually, I have to call this person back tomorrow morning. Let me take the sticky note off. We're going to put that one right there. I also have pink. There you go. All right. Here we go, guys. Bottom line, I don't know what happened there. It was in my hand, and when I went to rip the paper off the thing, I guess I don't know. It's paper's thin. Accidents happen. All right. So with that said, I'm now going to call and reach out to the security expert to talk to that person specifically about what is going on with Ukraine right now. How it affects us as individuals. It sounds like, from what I read, that potentially Ukraine just went on the offensive into Russia, which is just mind-blowing stuff. But hold on real quick. Let me call him real quick, see if I can get him on the phone. And let's check in with our security experts specifically on what's going on with Ukraine, which is really cool stuff, guys, because we basically get to find out what's happening before the news gets it in the morning. So let's see if we can get a hold of him real quick. Howdy, good sir. How are you doing? Good evening. Good evening. So I saw an article that said Ukraine was planning or did attack inside the Russian border, a small Russian town. Is Ukraine officially going on the offensive? What's going on with Ukraine?
Yeah, good evening. Good to hear your voice again.
Thank you.
Yes, there are high probability we're going to go with between 85 and 91% that inside Russia's border, there have been several attacks over the last week since we spoke, and whether Ukraine will take specific official channel credit for it is unknown right now, but there is a large amount of rockets, missiles, resulting in incredible fires. These rockets and missiles have been landing primarily in fuel supply areas, transfer stations of fuel, as well as ammo supplies and military vehicle supplies within the country of Russia. And that is been going on for a while, but it's just ramped up quite a bit since Odessa earlier in the week, and some of the events taking place down along the Black Sea, as well as some very proactive in-country Ukraine acts against the Russian troops, including something we spoke about, back I think in January. Somebody brought up that we spoke about it, which was the pontoon bridges being extended and recalled on northern rivers in almost practice military exercises. And here we find the Russians have extended and retracted a floating pontoon bridge just exactly in the middle of the country near the Donbass region on the Dnipro River. And the goal was to try and move troops in behind Ukraine. It was fighting back at the border. Ultimately, Ukraine became aware of it and took out the floating pontoon bridges. which were being used or planned on being used for supply routes to resupply Russia and Russian troops. They're planning on gaining in strength in the area to encircle the Ukrainian troops that had their backs to the Dnipro and were fighting on the eastern front. So Ukraine's been blowing up their own bridges to slow the supply system down, but here they actually came in contact with this bridge and took that out as well. Just in the last 24 hours. So that's here's to them, unknown how it was found. But again, we did see it being exercised before the invasion, late December, early January of this year. Yes, they're continuing with the attacks on both Ukraine and Russian soil. Tremendous amount taking place just in the last few hours. Today we had Finland and Sweden, primarily Finland, got support from the Brits, indicating they would support them if an action took place militarily, and they went from basically active neutrality to being engaged. Britain announced their support, and later in the day, just a few hours ago, Finland announced it will be applying to join NATO, and Sweden is expected to quickly follow. Will become the 31st and 32nd nation states in the alliance. And
oh, wow.
Just a big move. Mr. Putin's attack on the Ukraine was to block not only those two countries, but also Ukraine as well from joining NATO. And his comments were placed Russia at a great security risk, and it wasn't too far from St. Petersburg and that in Russia, and that to them was a great security risk. But it looks like that neutrality is over from Finland and Sweden, and as we know, they've been ramping up with military equipment, military exercises to be engaged, and they will be prepared as they indicate, with both support from Britain and internally up on the Baltic coast where they meet Russia. So what we also found today is Ukraine yesterday had cut off the flow of gas transfers through Ukraine to European countries. They're collecting a tariff of several $billion US dollars a year in Russian tariffs for allowing the fuel to flow through their country pre-war here. And ultimately, today, after Finland made their announcement and Britain made their announcement, Russia cut off the gas supplies to European countries as well.
Oh, wow.
Which just caused the markets globally to spin a bit. A lot of concerns over how they're going to transition fuel into the European nations that are both NATO and non-NATO affiliated, but it should be interesting. I don't think they were expecting President Zelensky to indicate they would be stopping gas transfers. But it seemed to be fortuitous as Russia turned today and shut it off as well. We have a lot of bombing taking place in retribution, going back to Odessa a few days, just maybe 2 days, 2.5 days ago. Just relentless bombing of Odessa. That's the seaport city close to Moldova, and it's on the Black Sea. It's called the southwest corner, and both air and sea attacks were taking place there for a tremendous period of time. Trying to level that back. Speaking of leveling that back, one of your previous questions, and I think it was from last week, Walter, indicated why the Russian troops were not using more sophisticated weapons, why they were flattening cities, and what it kind of came down to is using 20th century technology and in the 21st century war, if you will. Most the country's moved on to laser and GPS and heat signature identification of targets to be attacked. It's believed it was probably funded in Russia, but never brought into fruition due to what some folks are calling "quote unquote" corruption, where the monies were paid, the equipment was never realized. Consequently, they're using World War II, if you will, tactics, coming in and blowing buildings apart, leveling entire communities, villages, cities, because that's all they know they can do is fire repeatedly at certain targets, because they don't have the ability to use laser-guided or heat signature equipment that they thought they were getting in some of their equipment. And then they've also found fallacies in some of the designs that are being used on their tanks and their armored vehicles. They've actually gone to putting cages over the top of some of the turrets to try and keep the airdrop or missile drop armament from actually landing on the turret and destroying the armor. So what they've gone to is a series of bomb drops where the first 3 or 4 don't have a detonator, and then the last one detonates them all sitting in the rack above the turret, just destroying the equipment. And that's worked out quite well. We're also seeing all the Stingers being delivered as of last week. There are a large percentage of them being delivered from the U.S. It's unknown how they're getting them into the country. I think we touched on that last week. Or other being brought to the front or to the areas that they're needed, but they're being used very, very successfully. Earlier today, if not last evening, just can't get this particular specific time down, the 80th Separate Air Unit shot down a Russian assault helicopter utilizing United States Stingers. That was the 15th kilo taken down. And the Ukraine media, a short time later, indicated that the Air Assault Brigade Command officially confirmed the 16th downing of another kilo by the paratroopers since the beginning of the war. So both recon and strike helicopters had been shot down in Kharkiv by the Assault Brigade, and they're stepping up and saying it's working. So it's using contemporary equipment and a contemporary battle and taking out targets that are injurious and low-flying and highly maneuverable, and they found something that's a little bit quicker, shoulder-mounted, and works well. Same thing with the Switchblade style rockets that can be carried by a single person. They weigh about 6.5 pounds, also known as the kamikaze drone rocket, but it's send it, forget it, out of the area, and high percentage, it's over 98% over finding their targets, at least from what we're seeing here. Ukraine has, been subject to nonstop attacks along the Donbass Western Front, everything from running gun battles in the streets to ambushes. They're pushing the Russian soldiers back, and they've tried to cut off some of the critical supplies heading to support the troops in that Donbass region, especially outside of Kharkiv. And then further south, some of the towns have been just facing horrific land and air bombardments. These quiet towns and villages, Bakhmut is one, just absolutely a sleepy little village going back to the 1700s, and the town was flat, left in ruins, left their civilians to kind of make their way into the city on their own after this little village was flat. It's just rather heartbreaking to see these folks who've been there for many generations just in a mere hour. Their entire way of life has changed. Just stepping back to the appropriations for funding for both military, economic, and humanitarian aid, Democratic leaders last night passed a $40 billion supplemental package, trying to get that bipartisan support going. They tried to drop a provision that would allow for the settlement of Afghan refugees. That was part of the initial $33 billion. There was pushback about the vetting procedures for that, and just the language and the context that can't get supported in that piece from last night. They claim they're close to an agreement. Time is of the essence, according to the Speaker, the House, Nancy Pelosi. There is a late change. Trying to win over some of the House Republicans, and it basically allowed for an extra $304 million for the Pentagon to replenish some stocks of weapons and other equipment to Ukraine. And that's up in giving them if it gets. I know our senior leadership of our country, currently in the United States, someone reading it is current here in the United States, indicated they did recently visit manufacturing facilities for some of our missiles, and they're planning on increasing the number of people working at those locations, manufacturing locations, to ensure that the U.S. government has not overextended itself and keep up with our needs in the United States. Kind of a different piece. We have the American Red Cross tagging in for us this week. The executive editor of an award correspondent from many places is offered up some information for us regarding the eyewitness accounts of folks leaving Ukraine and heading for Poland or Romania, and they're older refugees, and some of them, as we spoke about previously, it's something that our working shops here have a very keen interest is determining what can be done to help folks out that are having mobility issues or routine care and prescription issues or exasperated illness or chronic conditions from just getting in and out of a bed or moving from place to place. And it's inspiring to go through it. Actually, the number one thing that these folks are requesting when they cross into safety is the lip balm.
Huh.
And I guess the temperature is bitterly cold, and having to flee or leave their homes for days on the move. That and a cup of coffee or a warm cup of soup seems to be the number one things most requested by crossing these 24/7 borders. Followed by diapers, straws, warm gloves, clothing, and the Red Cross indicates that they're getting a lot of strong support globally. And the question came up with the next phase, and the Red Crescent response is getting cash into their hands, and they said it's empowering to make decisions for them to purchase that best meets their individual needs if they have that capability. Followed by how many older adults are traveling on their own, and we're starting to see more and more younger family members, nieces, cousins, kids fleeing, carrying only what they can carry, other than if they can get on their back and some food and water to get them out of country. But they're indicating the older adults are resilient and with the strength and determination that they haven't seen or unrecognized. And the older traveling with their young families or generational families in search of safety, they're just kind of taking care of each other and learning from each other how it works. Is those see a lot of it globally. Also ensuring that folks over 60, many of the volunteers that are working at the border for Red Cross or Red Crescent, they're working overnight shifts, they're loading trucks, leading teams, standing out there, just trying to be mission critical for the humanitarian side that we've talked about quite a bit. including the identification or relocation with families for those children that come across into other countries from Ukraine that are or have been separated. A really important piece of identification that just takes tremendous resources to keep track of, but is deemed as one of the most mission critical of what they're doing there is tracking children for both reunification and to ensure they are not subjected to human trafficking, sex trafficking, held as hostages, or sold to another family. As crazy as that may sound, that this trafficking continues and takes place. And we need to see the.
We can barely hear you. Say it again.
Just really, really unique that to see the Red Cross folks placing this is higher priority.
Yeah.
As getting those needing assistance on their own into country.
So I'm gonna ask you an easy question. I'm gonna start off with an easy rolling question.
Comes early today.
Yeah, we're gonna start out with an easy one. Do you feel, and remember, this is the easy one, this is the warm-up. Do you feel Russia will ever join NATO?
Well,
go ahead.
I think when we look historically at the foundation of United Nations and we look at the foundation of the nation states, there's only one that's not allowed, and that would be Russia. The whole thing ramped up prior to or post-war, and as the military tribunals in Nuremberg and other places started taking place, Ukraine started there first against a Russian soldier in the last 48 hours ago. Yeah. Against a Russian soldier.
Oh, we can barely hear you. Say it again.
The Russians the whole purpose of UN and NATO was to keep Russia from another world war in theory and to protect and unify the alliance of the sister states, nation states. Ukraine in the last 48 hours has already begun a war tribunal or war crime trial against Russian soldiers that have been taken prisoner and are being held. So they are not waiting until this to end for them to determine when and where that will take place. They had released the name of the Russian soldier. I don't have it in front of me. I don't still have it. We were working on it a little bit earlier today, but I don't think that's paramount piece. I think the piece is they are not. He is not waiting to start this. So very, very unique. Very unique. Additionally, just two or three small pieces here. Mariupol is back under primarily Ukraine troops. Have most of Mariupol back. Two hospitals were destroyed there, and only part of the steel factory, asphalt steel factory, is taken by Russia, and the civilians, as we know, were safely evacuated best as we can determine. And the Snake Island, the infamous Snake Island in the Black Sea coast of Odessa, which had been held by Russian troops but was attacked by Ukraine missiles and drones within the last 2 days, destroying significant radar and missile systems equipment on the island. Russia also lost a very large supply ship off of Snake Island, making its way to the Black Sea to try and resupply Russian troops. Last we saw, that ship was on fire heading to the Sebastopol shipyard near the Belgian line. Rockets have been hitting in Russia, and we talked about those fires as well. And just about 2 hours ago, China announced the sovereign rights of Ukraine.
Oh,
Territory, including Crimea. Crimea. Although it's a very strong announcement without sanctions for Russia, we're saying here, just yet.
wow.
Just yet.
But they didn't mention Taiwan.
And they didn't, right?
Right.
Or Orchid Island, which, you know, I guess, who knows? So most populated Russian troops right now are near Izum. From a chart produced by the Brits for us, we should have the tactical charts completed very late this evening, Eastern time in New York City and the United States. We should have that done by midnight tonight as far as tacticals. Not tactical news, just tactical charts, troop movements, engagements that we normally have by now, but it's been very dynamic. Less saber rattling, more actual live fire, as well as the key pieces out of the Baltics. Just been a busy week. Of course, Putin continues to threaten everybody. They are the Wagner Group reappeared in conversations over the week, this past week, regarding involvement with Chechen soldiers tied to war atrocities and just inhumane acts in Ukraine. But that very quickly got quiet as the generals continue to fall and the commanders continue to fall on the Russian side. I think we're up to general number 13.
Wow, geez.
I checked a couple of hours ago. Yeah, just really a little much. And lastly, on the again, I'm always trying to leave it with the takeaway piece domestically here. We did talk about previously with preparation and hurricane week coming and storms and other things that could take place. One of the things that, again, one of our FEMA guys, actually guys and gals, I should say, is making sure you make copies and you take your copies and keep them elsewhere. Everything from current tax returns, birth certificates, deeds, titles, insurance policies, and getting them into a waterproof container in a secure place. Real important piece. A waterproof container can be anything from a series of double Ziploc bags. But again, maybe scanning them if you have the capability or have somebody who can help you. Scan them onto a flash drive or a portable thumb drive, whatever you like to call them. Taking photos of your home or your business or some of these documents in the event something is tornado, hurricane, bad weather. So they got snow in the Rockies again. Just right next to the wildfires and the droughts in California. So just something to keep in mind as far as making it easier for yourself if you have the time to make these copies, to make these duplicates, have them scanned, share them, put them in a safe deposit box somewhere, share them with a relative you trust, and know that it is something that you'll need. Years ago, the key was to put a note on the front of your dishwasher if it's operational and put your documents in waterproof Ziplocs, if you will. I use the name brand. It's easy. Waterproof bags, and put it inside the dishwasher with a note over the starting key. Do not start, paper inside. But that was a watertight container inside your dishwasher.
Yeah.
So your dishwasher is actually watertight. And somebody thought of that years ago, just as a quick way to stuff stuff in and lock the door and on the dishwasher blinks, and there you go. You just seal it off from any exterior potential damage. In theory. Lastly, if you're preparing your children or guardians or loved ones or parents, there is a website. It's called ready.gov. Ready, READY.gov. /kids, KIDS, and it lets your kids kind of help you out with what you may need. And it's not just for your kids, it's for any kids. So whether it's a classroom, whether it's somebody that you live with or have responsibility for, there are things that they can do to help. That makes it a little easier for them, and they have a little bit more information and something you can do together both before, during, and after an event takes place, had it been planned out. So it's available at no charge on ready.gov/kids. And we took a quick look today as the shops got together, and it looked like a pretty interactive website. We're kind of impressed with it, so felt we'd pass that along. Okay, now it's time for the bonus hard question, isn't it?
Well, here's what I'm going to do, because we're running out of time. I'm going to give you the question that that's the toughie, and what I want to know is, and this is for next time. This is because remember, I played chess. I'm one of those types that always wants to know what are the potential options for the other side to utilize against what we view as the hero group, which is Ukraine. I always like to think from the evil perspective. I want to know from you guys what technologies exist to be able to find people such as the leaders of Ukraine, because all I'm seeing are top generals getting taken out on the Russian side. I'm not seeing top generals or Zelensky getting taken out on the Ukraine side. And to me, that does not make sense. We have micro drones, we have special scanning software, we have special satellites that can hear, everything in bunkers. We have all these crazy technologies. Maybe Russia doesn't have that stuff, but to me, how they could not find Zelensky is it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But for next time, can you guys work on that particular question?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
We'll hold off, and we'll get a holistic answer together for you, and we'll start with that next time we speak.
Excellent. Well, good, sir. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I will catch you next week, and I'll have some more toughy questions then.
Be safe, everyone. Be safe and be smart. Thank you.
Thank you, good sir. All righty. Bye-bye, good sir. Bye-bye. So that's excellent. I always loved Ukraine updates because the bottom line is Ukraine is directly in correlation with what benefits are going to be passed for SSI, SSDI, etc., our traditional retirement systems, including disabled child benefits. Consider this. If we weren't taking on as many immigrants that we're taking from the Supplemental Security Income Program, we would, without a doubt, be able to afford these SSI benefit increases to get SSI people up to $1,200, even $1,300 potential dollars per month. So the bottom line is this war is something that is directly affecting these SSI benefits, especially because remember, that's from the general taxation as opposed to the SSDI and the retirement benefits, which are their separate little payroll tax. Now, I want to see if we have a brave person out there, a brave soul, if you will, who will go ahead and run hearing questions with me at fast pace. I'm talking about speed chess pace, where I get to run hearing questions with you at a speed in which you have to give quick answers. And then we're going to run over the questions slowly right after that to see what the differences are. It is purely a scientific study to see how people's brains work when it comes to answering these disability questions. And I get to have no bars withheld. I get to ask you the tough questions, the mean questions, the questions that the judges that are more aggressive would get to ask you. So, do we have a soul on here who is willing to let me run questions with them at a fast pace and then run them again at slow pace to see how they change their answers? Who do we have? I'm going to put the phone number in the little area down there. That is the phone number you call. I can always answer more questions. That's fine too. We did, 2 or 3 callers with answering questions. But if there's a brave soul out there, one with gumption and chutzpah and all these other wonderful things that you need to call in, if you want to run questions, I'm totally for it. Now, with that said, if somebody doesn't call in, I'm just going to call some of the other people that called while I was waiting, which looks like which looks like a couple people. So bottom line, we'll do one more phone call, maybe two. Are there any people willing for me to run hearing questions with them at speed? Oh, here we go. This should be good. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. Howdy, madam. How are you doing? So real quick, use a fake name throughout the process. Would you like to run hearing questions with me, or for me to answer a specific question?
My name is Susie. I'd like to try the security questions. Is there a prize after this?
I wish there was. I don't have one at the moment. In fact, I can't give out regular prizes. I looked up the Florida bar thing for the ethical consideration. They won't allow me to give out a $600 disability benefit, or sorry, a $600 fourth stimulus. They won't allow me to give out a $1,400 fourth stimulus. They won't allow me to give out a $2,000 fourth stimulus to like a winner. In fact, I'm only allowed to give out like nominal things, which is like, I guess it means under 20 bucks. Nobody's really defined that perfectly. But if you're ready and willing, I will go ahead and run hearing questions with you super fast, and we'll see how you do.
Okay, this is going to be fun. I'm excited.
All right, this is going to be good. This is good. All right, here we go. Madame, go ahead and please state your full fake name.
My name is Susie Q.
Excellent.
I got it.
Very good, very good. Walk me through, what are your top 5 most severe disabling conditions?
I have a brain disorder.
Mhm.
I have an ingrown toenail,
Mhm.
lower back pain,
Mhm.
and I get really dizzy. Is that fine?
That's good. Which of those is the most severe out of all of them?
Oh, my lower back pain.
Excellent. Can you tell me where in the lower back? Is it all the way at the hips? Is it above the hips?
Well, it's the lower part of the back. I
Okay.
mean, there's the top, middle, and the bottom, right?
Well, it's also the lumbosacral, which is like, the buttocks area, like right around there. All right, now let me ask you this. When it comes to basically, you doing functional tasks, do you have any limitations with, for example, driving in a car or walking?
Oh, I can't walk very far because it hurts my back.
Okay. So how far can you walk before you have to stop and rest?
Oh, probably about. Well, I don't know. If I remember to count that day, then it might be like 10 steps.
Perfect, perfect. So after 10 steps, what do you feel? Where's the pain, and does it shoot to different locations?
Oh, it's right there in my sacroiliac, and it shoots down my right leg.
Excellent, excellent. Now tell me this, when it comes to walking those 10 steps, after you start feeling the pain, how long do you have to rest for after you feel that pain?
Oh, wow. If the pain's really severe, then I try to sit down. But I'm afraid if I sit down, I won't be able to get up.
Okay. So if you basically try to sit down, you can't get back up. What do you use to assist you with ambulation if you have a hard time with standing and sitting?
What's that fancy word?
Which one? Ambulation?
Yeah.
So the whole idea here is, do you use some sort of a cane, crutch, walker, wheelchair, something that would assist you to go ahead and get from point A to point B?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes they give me that stick with the curve on it.
That's a good stick, let me tell you. So with that said, now, can you repeat the function walking 10 steps, resting for, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes? How many times could you repeat that over an 8-hour workday?
Oh, my goodness. Let's see. If I do it the first time and it's not too bad, then probably in about 3 or 4 hours I could do it again. But I don't know, that twice is enough.
Very good, very good. Now, after you walked that and you did it twice, could you tell me the next day, would you be able to do the same functions or less?
Well, the next day, I don't think I could do it because then my lower back will be swollen. I have to put ice on it.
Very good, very good. And one thing you haven't mentioned, which is obviously an extremely severe impairment, tell me about this ingrown toe. What happened with that?
Oh, well, I was sitting there watching TV, and, I don't know, I just wasn't thinking, and I kept picking at my toe, and I guess it messed up my toenail, and then whenever the outer part was trying to grow back, the toenail was just going in, and it hurt so bad, and hard for me to walk on that toe.
Okay. Now, can you tell me, when it comes to, doing sort of like climbing activities, stuff like that, would you be able to go ahead and climb a ladder by any chance?
Now, why in the world would I want to climb a ladder?
What about a rope? Would you be able to climb a rope?
What do you think I am, Wonder Woman? I said my name's Susie Q.
What about a ramp? Is a ramp within the potential? We would hope. We would hope. We would definitely hope that the boat ramp led to a boat and an island there. So let me ask you this. Okay, so difficulty with all those functional aspects of getting climbing, etc. What about being able to climb over, for example, a single step, whether you're going into a house or it's a curb, something like that?
Oh, well, if it wasn't over 4 inches tall, I could imagine I could get over a couple of those little steps.
Well, that's excellent. All right, now let me ask you a tough question here. When it comes to basically trying to go and do outside functions, such as buying groceries, going to doctor's appointments, going to religious facilities, are you able to do those functions without limitation?
Oh, I don't know. That's where I get the thing in my head. It just, I get kind of depressed and stuff because I'm afraid something's going to happen, and then I'll be embarrassed in front of everybody. So I just pretty much stay home.
Very good, very good. All right, now you've done a very, very good job. You've responded extremely quickly to these questions, and I've got Sweetie to my left. She is literally eyeballing me down. Oh, there she is. She is cranky. She is a cranky puppy. I'm going to go ahead and catch you a little bit later, but with that said, thank you so much for coming on the show and doing the super fast questions with me.
Well, hey, I can talk dog talk.
This is true.
Let me talk to here's Sweetie.
All right, yeah, here's. Let me see if she reacts.
Good night, y'all. Have a good day.
Have a wonderful day. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye. That's very good. We have Sweetie here. Sweetie wants to go outside. There's no way around that. She's been complaining, whining. Here's what happens. This chubby little, here, I'll grab her real quick. This chubby little puffball right here. You can see that she's a big girl. I know, Sweetie. I know. When I got her, she was one 12-inch sub sandwich away from getting a big belly, which she ate my entire sub in the car on the way home. As you can see, she's a chubby girl. I love you too. I know, you're so snuggled. Now, with that said, guys, I will catch you later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Anyways, guys, if you have additional questions, catch up with me on the next show. Every Thursday, I go live from 8 to 10 p.m., although I'm always late because I've got a ton of stuff going on. With that said, please remember, we do always do questions on every Thursday. That's the big show day. And also, if you can, please like, subscribe, leave 5-star reviews. And the big thing, if you can Google Disability Resolution PA, if these videos are helpful to you, please remember to go ahead and leave a 5-star review. I really appreciate them. Sweetie really appreciates them as well, although she just wants to go outside and go swimming. So I will catch you later. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. And thank you so much. Have fun, guys. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.